This story, Hera Diagnostics, started several years ago with three scientists from Mexico, Dr. Jesus Áñez, Dr. Olivia Barrón, and Dr. Noel León, where they set out to try to resolve the problem of why so many women were dying from cervical cancer in Mexico. Thanks to help from the National Science Foundation in Mexico, CONACYT, and to the Tecnológico de Monterrey, the university where they came from, and private investors, Hera Diagnostics was born July of 2021. Our vision is really to become the market leader in creating diagnostics that are available to everyone. That's our goal. It's a big challenge, but that's what we set out to do. We've seen in Mexico that many of the solutions that are sometimes developed for the United States or Europe are just prohibitively expensive for families. For example, families in Mexico that are living on, $800 a month. That's very, very difficult. How do we do this? We don't want to sacrifice technology. We want to use state-of-the-art technologies, but with design thinking and the end customer in mind, we want to try to come in at a price point where we can try to reach as many people as possible around the world. Cervical cancer, 342,000 women die per year, a staggering 90% of them in middle to low income countries, right? Why is that happening? Well, lack of screening is one of the factors, but we've also seen that the protocols are not being followed. So the accuracy of the traditional and even the liquid-based pap smear is very poor in middle and low income countries. And there's a lot of independent studies that support this, including the studies we've done ourselves. There's also evidence that screening in the developed world, as this recent article in the New York Times from last November shows, it's also a problem area where really the false negatives end up resulting in death. It takes on a big emotional toll. The procedure has been a fantastic procedure for many years. It's saved many lives. But it's just uncomfortable, right? It's just very uncomfortable. In many cases, especially in low-income countries, the results can take weeks, sometimes months, as we've seen with some government programs, so the anxiety of the patient waiting is just awful. In terms of the market opportunity, talking to a doctor down in the Texas border, he tells me he stopped doing pap smears because he doesn't make any money. He says all the money goes to the lab. So we think there's also an opportunity in point of care solutions to drive some revenue back to the practitioner in many cases. As evidenced by this, we were looking at some unit economics, comparing the United States to Mexico. And the total cost of the pap smear, something like 38% in Mexico went to pathology and 48% in the United States. So if you can drive some of that revenue back to the practitioner and still lower the overall cost, it could be a win-win for everybody. So this gets us to the solution. In Mexico, what we were seeing was inaccurate results in many cases. In particular with rural programs, patients wouldn't even show up again to get their results back because it had taken so long for the results to get there. So the idea was to have a point of care diagnostic. So these three scientists spent a lot of time researching many different technologies, and they stumbled upon optical electrical spectroscopy, which is a technology that has been attempted to be commercialized in the past, but the advancements in optics and the advancements in sensors and the use of artificial intelligence, support vector machines, machine learning has allowed us to finally design a product that we think is now very accessible to the market. The analysis we've done of past products is that they were just very, very expensive machines. The HeraFem works, again, no lab, no sample. We touch the cervix about 15 times, about 1 second each time. We take tissue measurements. It's very affordable. very accurate, real-time results and no lab required. How do we do this? We're basically, again, looking at changes in light absorption. When a cell becomes cancerous, it absorbs light differently. It also conducts electricity differently. And we're able to use these two methodologies along with the statistical analysis to come up with a very good result. It's a fantastic business model because it's an affordable device, and then each test requires a disposable sleeve or a biosensor, as we call it. So it becomes a source of recurring revenue for us. We sell one device to a practitioner that might last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, but the practitioner keeps buying sleeves from the company, which is good from a customer acquisition. We have been recognized. We've been fairly quiet, but we're starting to finally get out there by different competitions. And this is the team, myself. We're basically, we are a US corporation. We're half US citizens, half Mexican citizens, but our research and development and manufacturing is out of Monterrey, Nuevo León in Mexico. And that's pretty much it.